The future is not a time to come. The future is not a time to come. It is a process of the extended now. Through this perception, we may work positively to change the world. As a result, we should take on our shoulder the responsibility for creating a better world and not to lose hope albeit the challenges which we are facing. We should take this responsibility now. We are creating now our future in every field, in everything. On the other hand, it's Jung who tied together the religious experience with the psychological process toward an individuation or self-realization. By introducing the self-archetype as the center energy which balances the inner life, the spiritual life, he paves the way to energize a healthy ego, a healthy ego. We don't have to fight our ego, we have to make it healthy. This is our way to bring spirituality into action. Bring spirituality into action. And to make our human oneness a reality. We need our ego to work upon the world. We should be motivated by higher principles inspired from higher source, the self. Awakening this awareness, we move toward creating balance between the limited and the unlimited, the seen and the unseen, the individual self and the whole encompassing self. Reaching this inner balance creates peace within our heart, enable us to create peace around, and it empowers us indefinitely. Unfortunately, the residues of the past still work on the political level and the international relations. We still witness rulers who play power games and who may use unethical principles to defame their opponents or trigger the impulse of selfishness and superiority to gain popularity in order to win their power battles. On the level of the international relation, there is a grave negligence of the challenges that our world faces as a result of climate change. The so-called developed countries care less about our Mother Earth and think more of how to maintain exhausting its natural resources for the sake of their own interests. We still suffer from what may be called illiterate spirituality, which was planted with the era of modernity. As the former president of Czech Republic Havel notices, man as an observer is become completely alienated from himself as being. Eric Fromm, on the other hand, noticed that humans in modern era are fleeing from themselves by indulging themselves in the limiting beliefs. We are in an era of transition, and we have to move ahead to change our mindset towards awareness of the spiritual aspects of the universe and of ourselves. Spirituality, as some of contemporary philosophers notices, encompasses a wide range of positions and claims. As such, it has become an expanded concept. In its most interesting incarnation, it addresses in various ways the fundamental human need to find meaning in reality, to connect to emotion and reason, to find value in being, and to discern a connection through experiences. We are now moving toward a new era where a holistic approach is not intellectually dogmatized. It's not intellectually dogmatized. Rather, it is existentially experienced and shared through love, mercy, and compassion. I can see the emergence of a new horizon for our human voyage on Earth. I can see it very clearly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. Now I would like to invite Dr. Beltagi for sharing his thoughts. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, dear participant. I'm glad to speak to you this afternoon. I'm not one of the sisters, although in all my life I support sisters. And by the way, Professor Alia Arafa, she's professor of anthropology. She's my wife, and she is as well. She's from Ain Shams University, but they wrote in the program that I am in the Women College. I wish I am, but I deal with science. The story of my life is related to science, and therefore I was very much interested in empowering women scientists as well as empowering the farmers in the field. I mean, more than 60% or 70% of the economy in farming economy is on the shoulder of women on the field who support man. Not only this, they take care of the children, they take care of everything. And as the story goes, they are responsible. And the word responsible really counts. If we talk about sustainable development, if we don't have responsibility, we have nothing. But they are responsible. Some even beyond several men who can take the money and throw it away, and therefore working with different communities around the world, because I had the chance to head international organization dealing with agriculture all over the world. And therefore seeing the types and the behavior of the different communities. There's communities whereby the marketing is done by the women, and the money, usually they take care of it, then they can run the house in a very orderly way. But on the other hand, other models where the farmer takes the money of the crop, sometimes it's wasted. He go and get married again and again, and he never take care of his household, and therefore things is not very well organized. This is just as a beginning, but let me just go back to what I really would like to say today to you and share with you. Professor Alia, what I'm going to say is just elements, expanding elements of what she was talking about. We talk about a world which is facing great challenge. And if we are in the verge of a new horizon, yes, we are, because there is no way out if we don't change. We have a climate change which is haunting the whole planet, this little planet we live on, where our ancestors, our gatherers and hunters, has played a role. But again, the woman has preserved humanity. Men was very courageous to go out. They never come back because they go and hunt creatures which is far away from them. Then they've been eaten sometimes and never come home. But woman has preserved this humanity and still is. But this global warming is haunting the place. We have financial tsunami and financial crisis, which are affecting our economy up till now. It's not only a couple of years ago. We have as well regional conflict, and we have terrorism everywhere. Terrorism of the dogmas and people who does not think of others. We are not here in any mean would like to explain how this happened, but this is happening. That's why we are on a verge of transitional period. We are on a verge of transformation. If we don't move with this transformation, if we don't put ladders to go from one level to another to achieve this horizon, I think we'll get stuck and humanity will face distinction. How can we navigate toward a world with peace and prosperity and stability for all? This is issues which we have to look at with dignity. Human dignity is very important, and we are disregarding this for other reasons, which I may come to it later. But let me give you an example of the climate change. The climate change issue is haunting us. I was member of the international board which put the 2006 document on the impact on global ecosystem out of the change of climate change. And this was an early wake-up call for humanity. This 11 reports came out from the United Nations. It was just checking us that, watch it. things is changing, and sometimes it's irreversible. What we have done, what the world leader has done, either ignore it or say, we and them. And the idea of we and them was led by a leader of a country which I love its people, but he was a leader of a huge country. And he said we and them. Once you start saying we and them, you don't see the interest of the globe. You don't see the interest of people. Climate change is going to impact, it will reduce by 2040 to a level of 50% all the agricultural production. It will have an impact on outmigration. 200 million people will have an exodus from their own homes to somewhere else. They will cause socio-political upheaval. And this is not measured. We will just disregarding this. A National Academy of Science from the country where this leader said we and them has produced a wonderful research saying climate change is happening. Be careful. This is the American Academy of Science. And this was published in the Washington Post, but this was ignored and ignored. I mean, I would like to mention, for fairness for this country, we have leaders like Al Gore who said, watch it. Things is changing and we need to do something. I once said that Al Gore movie should be played every day for the leaders of the world in order for them to recognize things is changing. I was a vice chair of a board for the Global Crop Diversity Fund, and we had our meeting in Svalbard, where we built with the Scandinavian or the Nordic Gene Bank a vaults in the glacial ice to preserve the genetic diversity of mankind. And we have done this, and when we were there, they took us in a tugboat, and you can see the glacial ices coming down by chunks. Each chunk is about from 2 to 4 tons coming on the sea. Then we have to wake up. Things is happening. The sea level is going to increase. Temperature is going to increase by 4 centigrade by year 2040. And therefore, we have to be very careful. My country, Egypt, is very much threatened of the increase of the sea in the Mediterranean, because we will lose the delta, whereby more than 70% of the people live, their livelihood depend on the delta and its fertile land, and let alone the increase in temperature. But having said this, we need to know that fortunately, science and new science is bringing new hope. Genetic engineering, for instance, will give us tolerant plants to increase temperature, as well as it will give us tolerance to plant, to flora, to insects and pesticides, as well as insects, as well as bacteria and fungus, which will affect the disease of the plants, as well as animal production. New avenues in genetic engineering, not the genetic engineering we know 10 years ago. I mean, lately, we have something called gene editing.